Carl, and welcome to the city of Sandy Eggo. In today's episode, there are a few things I'd like to accomplish. First, we're going to be doing some terraforming over in this area here. I wanted to terrace this area a little bit so that we don't have like a giant cliff leading off as our shoreline. And that means we're going to be lowering a large section of this, not all of it, and then expanding our grid out over to fill up the area that we are keeping at the highest level. A second thing, I think this is a really good time to add a second entrance to our city. I'm thinking about putting a trumpet interchange over in this area here that would connect to our farming industry area here, just so that trucks importing and exporting don't have to drive through the residential to get out to the highway. And third, I'm going to be doing some detailing. I'm going to continue the detailing that I did last episode. Last time it was basically just this little park area here. I'm going to expand the detailing and do some of the other neighborhoods here, depending on what sort of time we have. And our population milestone target for this episode is Big Town, which is not really a huge jump. It's just a little over 1,000 people we need more. I think that's pretty achievable here. So to begin, we're gonna just start by leveling out the top of what's going to be our little terraced area here. And then we're going to flesh out our radial grid a little bit. And we'll get some water pipes into the roads. Oh, and it looks like I missed a water connection here. Let's just get that fixed up. And I think right now we're going to continue our grid out one more block just to keep the spacing of the water pipes consistent. There we go. I thought I saw a garbage complaint there. So our landfill usage is filling up. Let's get a couple of recycling centers in there. Okay. For education, I think I want to drop a high school in here. We've got plenty of capacity. It's just our coverage is not great. So we'll drop in a high school. Yeah, right about there. That should do it. And then we can get to zoning. So that's kind of tamed our residential zoning demands. So now we can get to terraforming. Looking at the soil meter, we're going to be moving an awful lot of soil here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to empty it now, and that'll leave us in a better position later on. Now, looking at our water level, I want the land to be above sea level by about 10 of these topographical lines. That'll give us a nice height to our quay wall. So if we pick right about there, and then we can just come up and pull all of this land down here to this level here. Yeah, just like that. And while we're at it with the terrain tools, let's just smooth all this area out here. Just a little bit. All right, now that that's done, we can start on our interchange. All right, our interchange is now finished. And while we were doing that, our residential demand began to creep up a little bit. So let's take care of that. Now, between this episode and the previous one, I did a little renaming. I'm a proponent of naming service buildings. It really comes in handy when figuring out where your sims are going. I'll typically name a service building after the district it's in or the street it's on. And one of the things I named was our park area, which I called First Poster Park. I was planning on pointing this out at the end of this episode, but while I was recording this, a gentleman by the name of Xucaboa made my channel's first comment. So to say thank you, let's rename Sandy Eggo's first park to Xucaboa Gardens. And just drop the price. I'd forgotten to do that. One of the things I think about city parks is that they should be free for the community. If you have things like a nature preserve or an amusement park that you can charge admission to, but personally I think that having a city park that should be covered by tax dollars just for the well-being of the community. Let's come back over here and resume our zoning. And I think I'm going to extend our grid up by another block. This last little bit is going to be out of scale because of that this road segment here. That's okay. So we don't really have very much in the way of education over in this side. We've got one over here, but it's a little bit far for kids to go, I guess. So I'm going to, even though we've got lots of capacity, I'm going to build an elementary school here. Just right across from this park, I think. And maybe we'll put in a health facility as well. Something like that. And one more row here. And then finish getting our water pipes in place. Okay, let's zone it out. And we can't forget our cycling infrastructure. Okay. So one other thing I'd like to do here is to fix this road jankiness. If you recall, this was done before we had landscaping tools available, so now would be a good time to fix it. I'll take care of this with the game paused, so as not to disrupt the city too much. And let's get rid of some of these dead trees here. So we'll smooth this all out. And then slope the terrain from the road here up to the industrial area. And now we can put in our new road. Let's make it a collector. And now we can put our roads back in. And last but not least, let's fix up our zoning. That's not perfect, but a little bit better than it was. And while we're here, let's add in a recycling center. Actually, maybe let's put in another road here so that we don't have these recycling centers too close to our forestry industrial zone. Let's see if we have room to move this one over to the end here. Yeah, that's not perfect, but a little bit better than it was. All right. So with that, we can continue some of the detailing that we started last episode. One of the things I've noticed is that cities generally like to have a theme to their trees. Basically, there'll be one species of tree that kind of dominates the city. In my city, it's the elm. I think that the older neighborhoods in Sandy Eggo will mostly have the live oak, with a few of the other tree species sprinkled in here and there. We might use some of the other trees in newer neighborhoods, but for now, these will be our dominant type. Changing trees has a big effect on the feel and the character of a neighborhood. On White Avenue, which is one of the main areas in the city, we have a large number of old growth elm trees. And at one end, not too long ago, I think 2017, some of the trees caught a disease of some sort. I think it was Dutch elm, but I'm not 100% sure if that was the one. And they had to be removed. The little segment where the trees were, they removed them, and it just drastically changed how the area felt. Just a couple of blocks worth of these trees that ran down the center of the road, and it really it was really dramatic. And then again, when they replaced them with younger elm trees, we had again another drastic change. It felt like it went from one neighborhood to another in the span of just a year. How are we looking for? Power's kind of just barely at the limit. I think I'm gonna ump up our budget here a little bit. Let's see how that does. Oh, and Xucaboa Gardens has reached level 2. Okay, so yeah, that fixed our electricity availability for the time being. So since we're at Xucaboa Gardens, let's see what we can do here. We have a chessboard. That's something I think I would like to put in here. It's a little bit large for this side. I think what we'll do is we will move this, and we're gonna take out part of that rock formation while we do it, and we'll put the chessboard on this side here, and then we'll go over and fix that rock formation. Okay, and back to detailing. You can see already the difference that adding a few trees in here has made. It looks fairly sparse over on this side. But over here, we're starting to look a lot more alive. We got some empty spaces here, so let's go ahead and fill these out. And I think I saw some vehicles stopping here. Yeah, we need to fix that. And get rid of these lights here. And while we're here, let's upgrade this here. I don't think we need to worry too much about this being a collector, so we can zone it out now. I wonder if we have a room in there for a little bit of a rock feature. Or maybe even 2. And I think this is a good place for another rock feature. Well, we seem to be having our residential demand creeping up a little bit, so I think we're going to continue doing some more zoning here. And I think I'm going to bring this up and connect it to our new entrance so people don't have to drive all the way over to this side. For this, I think we'll just leave that for the time being. I haven't decided what we're going to be putting in there. And let's check our healthcare. Yeah, that looks okay. So it looks like we do have a demand for a fire station. Give us just a little bit more coverage. And police looks okay. And we could probably do with maybe a small playground over here somewhere. And maybe a dog park over here. Let's just finish up our zoning in this area. And I want to be putting in our cycle paths as well. I don't know if I've got enough room through here though. Let's find out. Look at that. Okay. There we go, that looks okay. Oh, and we missed some paths here as well. And let's see if we can get one through here as well. Kind of a tight corner, but it works. And with that, we've reached our population milestone for this episode. Let's see, we get an extra tile, metro, high density residential and commercial, as well as offices, and the Industry 4.0 policy. These are all really useful things, and I'll be using them in the next episode. I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed our time. If you have any thoughts or suggestions, I'd love to hear them. If you want to be notified when I release the next episode, please click subscribe. Thanks again, and I hope to see you soon.